Hi, I'm Phil Roteman and welcome to episode 11 of Burnside Neutral 2030. Today we are talking about growing and sharing food. There are loads of benefits to growing and sharing food. There's the delicious produce, there's the joy of growing and sharing the food, saving money, and you can reduce your carbon footprint. The food we buy has a carbon footprint that comes with it. That's from the energy that's used to produce and transport the food. We can reduce that carbon footprint by growing and sharing food locally. Let's take a look at some of the initiatives from the City of Burnside that are helping you to grow and share your food locally. First, the Council supports several community gardens. I'm at the Laurel Avenue Pirkurna Wirra Bennett Organic Community Garden to hear from a local resident who's involved.
I've been interested in community gardens for a long time, probably about 30 years, and been to a lot of other gardens and seen how successful they are, and lobbied along the way to have one in the district, and here we are. Probably the most popular area is the herb area. People are coming down and picking some basil or oregano or things like that. The other things have been picked sort of sporadically as they ripen. But we've had zucchini, sweet corn, melons. There's a slogan around 30 years ago, act local, think global, and I think that's a practical way people can sort of look after the planet. They can think about low food miles and realise that, if you can walk to somewhere and pick up some herbs or a zucchini or a couple of tomatoes, you're really putting into practice what a lot of people preach about. And, I just think that's a good thing. I think that involving people rather than expecting someone else to do it for you is the way our society should run.
Council also supports people who are growing food in their own back gardens through Grow It Local. Grow It Local is a website where you can share produce, but also share gardening know-how. Let's speak to a resident who's involved.
So I grew up with my mum and dad growing food, and so we always had a veggie garden in the back garden. And then when I got older, I really wanted to grow food with my daughter so that she knew where food came from and how it grew. I think knowing where your food comes from is useful, but being able to go outside and just prepare a meal is really convenient for me rather than having to go and buy a whole lot of bits and pieces. A fresh tomato from the garden and eaten that night you can't buy that anywhere. It's gorgeous. I'm really interested in that sharing of food, sharing of plants, sharing seeds to grow. One of the neighbours bought us some peaches that they'd grown from their trees. Now our peach tree had finished, so we got to spread the harvest. But just getting to know people, chatting over some shared food. One of my other neighbours, she's getting older and she loves eggplants. And so every year we've been giving her eggplants, and it's something that's really important to her. She loves the taste of it. You can do some sharing through Grow It Locals. So I've got Egyptian walking onions in the garden, and so somebody asked for bulbs and then someone else was going, well, what are they? So that capacity to share information on a platform where just people can come and ask a question is great.
You can check out the Grow It Local website. Have a look at the regular workshops, some live and lots online. There's everything from how to make tomato chutney, to native edibles, to growing giant vegetables. And you can register your patch to join the growing local community, sharing food and know-how through Grow It Local. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Burnside Neutral 2030. It's been about community gardens, growing it local, and reducing your carbon footprint. See you next time.